What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are going to talk all about Season 10 as the information is now out from Pokemon Go. So this is going to have a lot of useful information for you guys. There's going to be timestamps down below if you guys want to skip around to look more into things that you're interested in, but we're just going to go ahead and zoom in now. This graphic was made by Go Stadium, so let's give a huge shout out to them. We do this every rotation. They make an amazing graphic. If you guys want to go check them out, they have the IV checker on their website. They have an amazing Discord community with competitive tournaments and everything. All the links will be down below in the description of this video, but first thing I want you guys to know, Season 10 starts next Monday, November 29th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so Niantic time. And also, Pokemon appearing in Go Battle League encounters will now be slightly easier to catch. We don't know how much easier it is going to be, but anything is better than what we have been used to when it comes to trying to catch legendaries. I know all of you, every single one of you watching this, has experienced trying to catch a legendary and wasting so much time and resources, so this is a nice step in the right direction. Now, when it comes to Go Battle days, we are having this again. It's going to be 24-hour period where you guys can do up to 100 battles. We're going to have it on January 8th. That's going to be with the Master League and Master League Classic. Sunday, January 23rd with the Great League and the Sinnoh Cup, which we'll talk more about later. And February 6th with the Ultra League and Ultra League Premier Cup Classic. Now, the Stardust rewards will again be 4 times, but only from the rewards that you get from the basically the rewards from Go Battle League, but not the end of set rewards, if that makes sense. And it also will not stack with 3 times Stardust on January 8th, which is this one. Which then is a hint that on January 8th, we're getting 3 times Stardust for something. Whether that's Community Day or some kind of separate event. On January 8th, right here it says 3 times Stardust on January 8th. So be on the lookout for that, whatever is happening in the actual game. Now, when it comes to the rewards, I know a lot of you guys kind of like, this is exciting, but it's not really the end-all be-all, right? You guys can see the catches that we have here. A lot of great and useful stuff. And then same thing, Pikachu Libre at the end. And then we will have Team Flare, Lissandre, outfit and stance. Basically, we don't know what the stance is going to be, but there is all the rewards for Season 10. And Noctowl, which we're going to talk about here soon, is going to be a nice one. If you guys don't have that, you guys will be able to start catching it once you get to rank 11. And it won the lottery ticket, basically, when it comes to this update. So let's go ahead and talk about the moves, updates and balances, and who got what, as this is what is the most important thing when it comes to Season 10. So first and foremost, we saw Pound, its move damage go from 5 to 4. This was a direct target at Chansey, XL Chansey, which I'm not sure how much that actually affects it, as Chansey is just super bulky anyways. So I mean, hopefully it affects it, but honestly, we'll have to see how that plays out. Another big update is going to be Rock Tomb, which is a move that was basically never used on anything. We'll talk about that more on PB Poke, but Rock Tomb here now has a guaranteed chance to lower the opponent's attack. We're also going to see Rock Tomb be put on all of these Pokemon. It's going to be Sudowoodo, Lairon, and Aggron, and Claydol. So Claydol literally getting love every single season, but never being used. And Caleb and I in the Battle Cats podcast talked about like Claydol, why it's never being used. It's because of its typing, right? The ground psychic typing has so many targets on its back. You got to think you're weak to water, you're weak to ice, you're weak to dark, you're weak to ghost. So it's very tough to be strong in the meta when it comes to open leagues like Open Great League, when you have stuff like Sableye, Swampert, Azumarill, you know, all of those things. Umbreon can just destroy you. Alright, so the first update that we saw was to Rock Tomb. I mean, we saw it to Pound, but it's just getting a little bit lower damage. But the Rock Tomb one is what's interesting. Now, Rock Tomb is a move that was really never used on anything, as Pokemon would rather be using Rock Slide, Rock Blast, Ancient Power, Stone Edge, Rock Weather Ball, literally Rock Tomb was the last on the list, and that's because of its energy to damage. It's very high. So now it is going to have a guaranteed chance to lower the opponent's attack, which is nice. but we'll have to see how much that actually affects the gameplay. Even though it's going on quite a few Pokemon, they already have moves like Rock Slide, which is a lot more energy efficient, right? It costs 15 less energy, and it does 5 more damage. It's a lot more spammy. So does the attack debuff actually outweigh the damage and energy efficiency? We'll have to see. I don't think out the gate is going to be a very big impact. Maybe Fortress, which does have it. So let's go ahead and look. We'll go to the rankings right here, and we'll just look at Rock Tomb so you guys can see. Fortress is the one that basically has Rock Tomb. It's the only rock move that it does have access to. So that is actually very nice for it, as it could run with Sand Tomb and Rock Tomb, or Earthquake and Rock Tomb, or Mirror Shot, you know, what have you. It's very niche coverage. It picks up some nice stuff like Galarian, Stunfisk, Umbreon, Sableye. They're all very close, but it's manageable. But now, because of Altaria and Skarmory, the Rock Tomb right there might be picked up, because the normal moveset it runs with is Earthquake, Mirror Shot. So if you're, instead of Mirror Shot, you run with Rock Tomb, you have that capability. Now, Fortress, though, is an extremely spicy Pokemon that isn't used too commonly, but just be on the lookout. That's basically what's picking it up. Now, the rest of these, it's gonna be tough. I mean, maybe Sandslash, Kanto Sandslash, because it has Mud Shot and Earthquake right here. Using Rock Tomb now could be viable, but how viable is it going to be? We'll have to wait and see. But again, having the update to when it comes to the moves of giving it a guaranteed chance to lower opponent's attack might not be chosen over Rock Slides, which are on other Pokemon like Lairon or Sudowoodo, which we saw as getting Rock Tomb as well. So that's just an interesting take when it comes to Rock Tomb. Now, the other move that we saw was Bug Buzz, as well, is going from 90 to 100 damage. That's a nice little bump up, and there are some strong Pokemon who can get that, so you got to be on the lookout for a Bug Buzz actually landing. So it's 60 energy, and it's going from 90 damage to 100 damage, and there is one Pokemon also has a 30% chance to lower your opponent's defense by 1, which is very nice. So if Rock Tomb got this damage boost as well to 100, that would be huge, but it didn't. So let's see how Bug Buzz plays out here. So Bug Buzz is on one very specific Pokemon, and that is going to be Galvantula right here, which is definitely common. You guys know about Galvantula. Now, Galvantula is typically run with Volt Switch, Discharge, and Lunge. Sometimes you see the Cross Poison be run in specific situations, heck, maybe even Energy Ball, but Bug Buzz wasn't necessarily run because Lunge came into the game, which is very nice. But Bug Buzz now getting a boost in damage, you might see some Galvantulas run that. So you got to be careful, as that thing's going to hit like an absolute truck. So that is probably the biggest winner when it comes to Bug Buzz. We also have Venomoth, Vespiquen, Wormadam Trash as well is a very big one. This thing consistently runs Bug Buzz, so it's always Confusion, Iron Head, and Bug Buzz as the typical moveset. And this thing does well in specialty cups that it is allowed to be in. So that might be a big winner come down the line when it's in other special cups. But for right now, it's just a soft win there, but Galvantula is the biggest one. So these updates when it comes to the Bug Buzz and the Rock Tomb aren't too impactful. It's not dramatic like we saw with Poison Fang being given to, like the Poison Fang update on Nidoqueen and Golbat and what have you. That was a direct impact to the meta, and we saw the meta shift around that. This, I don't think, is going to do that. What is going to do that, though, is going to be Noctowl. Noctowl now is going to be a premier flyer. As we take a look at Noctowl here, its matchups are decent, right? But what I want you guys to look at, this is actually this is Donphan, but we'll change it to Noctowl real quick. So we got Noctowl here with Wing Attack, Sky Attack, and Psychic, and then we're going to give this Noctowl Shadow Ball, which you guys can do yourselves. So we'll go ahead and run Shadow Ball here. And this is what I like to do to get like a little sense of what's actually happening with the different updates. So I put them onto the team builder and compare them side by side to see what Pokemon picks up what based on the moveset or the IV. So we got Wing Attack, Sky Attack, Psychic, and Wing Attack, Sky Attack, Shadow Ball. So as we can see right here, the Shadow Ball variant now picks up Azumarill. That is a very huge pickup right there. We also see it picks up Cresselia as well, and then it loses Nidoqueen but it also picks up Mew and Sylveon. So the Nidoqueen was because if you landed a Psychic on it, right, it would do super effective damage. But Noctowl being a flying normal typing, extremely bulky, and now has access to Shadow Ball, which if you think about all of the Trevenants, Jellicents, Sableyes that are in the meta, Hypnos, Mews, Noctowl now is definitely a threat, and it can do neutral damage to the tanks that would come into it, like Galarian Stunfisk or Bastiodon, which are very common in the meta. Before, you'd have to run with Nightshade, which is a terrible move, but now against Galarian Stunfisk, you have Shadow Ball, which is very nice. As we can see, it does about 31% of Galarian Stunfisk's health right there, which is always great, as Sky Attack didn't do too much. So somewhat of a close matchup. Again, this is a tank versus a flyer, or an anti-flyer versus a flyer, and Noctowl almost takes it there in the 0-1, and the 2 is a bit more landslide to Galarian Stunfisk there, but still very close matchup. So Noctowl definitely being a very big winner for the Great League. And it's very cost effective as well. If you guys didn't know, Noctowl's second charge move unlock is only 10,000 Stardust, so this is a very cost effective flyer to have, and I think we'll see a lot of it, as it has fantastic coverage, especially with Trevenant rising up out of the meta. Noctowl is an extremely hard counter to that. It can beat Azumarill, and it already beats things that it's supposed to, like Medicham, Jellicent, Diggersby, Scrafty, Sableye, Swampert. You know, the list goes on and on. You guys can see the X's and O's here. This is very, very nice. So, Noctowl, you guys want to get yourself one. Now, when it comes to the Ultra League, XL Noctowl is kind of interesting. If we take a look at its IVs at level 40, it's at 2,000 combat power, but at level 50 or 51, it basically gets up to 23. So we go ahead and save that. We'll take a look at what it did. We'll put this one at 51 as well. Might as well do it for Best Buddy. Let's see how this plays out. So Noctowl normal flying typing. It can do well against Trevenant, Cresselia, Jellicent, Giratina Altered. That right there is a lot of the meta. You also pick up like Scrafty and Escavalier, Drifblim, Cofagrigus, Snorlax, Machamp, Gengar. So XL Noctowl actually might have some really decent play. And seeing that these are not hard, the only thing you lose hard to, which is Registeel, is the Psychic one right there, because you need Shadow Ball in order to do neutral damage. This thing can actually put a lot of pressure on the meta. Obviously, Lapras is doing pretty well against it, but XL Noctowl, Best Buddy 51 with Shadow Ball, has some play in the open Ultra League right here, which is where I think it could be able to run a bit better than instead of the like Premier Cup, which does it not banning, not Classic, so just the open Premier Cup basically, where XLs are allowed. We see a lot more like Abomasnows and Alolan Ninetales there, but that normal typing really helps out against the ghosts that we do see, like Giratina Altered, which is going to be very common. So maybe if you guys got the resources and you wanna power that thing up, this might be something spicy you guys could run. And when it comes to the move updates, we're gonna see Donphan get Body Slam, which is very nice. Donphan has a fantastic move set, so getting Body Slam is gonna be very good for it for shield baits. Now, Donphan was one of the first Pokemon I ever invested in a long time ago, back in December of 2018. Never used it since, but Donphan is a pure ground type that is going to have access to Counter and Charm, which is going to be very, very interesting to see how people run it. And then when it comes to its charge moves, you have Earthquake, Heavy Slam, and Play Rough, and now we have Body Slam as well. So we're going to go ahead and compare the Heavy Slam Earthquake counter and the Heavy Slam, or not Heavy Slam, Earthquake Body Slam counter right here. And as you can see, the meta, it doesn't do too hot against the meta when it comes to the Great League, as it does lose to quite a few things. It has a tough time against Galarian Stunfisk as well, which is very interesting, even though it has counter. If you get hit with an Earthquake, you are going to lose. But in the 0 and the 2 shield here, which you guys can see, Donphan can win that. And that's just because of the counter and Body Slam damage. Obviously, if you land an Earthquake, that's going to be huge. So take this all with a grain of salt when it comes to the X's and O's here, but getting Body Slam is definitely very nice for it. Now, you guys could also run it with Charm, so we'll go ahead and try that. We'll put a Donphan in here with Charm, and then we'll give it Body Slam. as I think Earthquake is probably going to be, Earthquake Body Slam is going to probably be the most common move set, I would imagine. And the Charm one still has some, actually has a couple other pickups. So you pick up Scrafty and Sableye, which is very spicy, so you'll be able to farm those ones down and have an Earthquake ready to go. You can pick up Mandibuzz as well, and Umbreon, Machamp, and Chestnut. So basically all the fighters and darks you pick up with Charm. So that is actually very interesting. So we may see some Charm Donphans, which is kind of interesting to think about, as it's very like a bruiser type of Pokemon, right? It's rolling around in your face, but it's actually charming you. So interesting. You can still be Bastiodon with Charm. Interesting. I'm guessing this relies on a shield bait. Yeah, it relies on you having to land the Earthquake right there. So you win the 0 and the 1, but you lose in the 2 shield right there. So interesting. But Donphan, new part of the meta. This is Great League. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Ultra League and see how that does there. So some decent pickups here, as we can see. Obviously beating Registeel when it has counter, but losing when it has Charm. Still will struggle against Trevenant, and Trevenant is a very strong part of the meta. But let's see, let's make sure these are, okay, so this doesn't need to be XL. 31.5, yeah, you don't need XL when it comes to this. As the combat power, yeah, 31.5. So you guys do not need XL candies when it comes to Ultra League, which is very nice. But let's go ahead and check out then the Ultra League Premier Classic, and let's see how this one breaks down. Okay, some interesting matchups here. You can still beat Magnezone with Charm, which is very interesting. You pick up Poliwrath when you have Body Slam, which is this middle one. You obviously destroy Obstagoon. You do well against Snorlax. So some really nice pickups here. You lose to Nidoqueen if you're running with Charm, though. So just some stuff to note if you guys are looking to invest in Donphan. It has some good coverages, has some good moves, and having Body Slam is going to be very nice. So something spicy that you guys can bring to the meta. Alright, so next up we got Magcargo. So like we said, Magcargo is getting Incinerate and Rock Tomb. So let's see how this goes. So we got Magcargo. This is going to be Great League. Normal moveset is going to be Ember, Stone Edge, Overheat. We now have the Incinerate, Stone Edge, Overheat variant. And we have the Incinerate, Overheat, Rock Tomb variant. So 3 different variants of Magcargo depending on how you want to run it. And if we take a look at this, the Incinerate one is clearly picking up a lot more matches, right? So the Cresselia match, the Sableye match, the Stunfisk match, because of how much raw damage Incinerate can do. Now, it's interesting to note that it struggles here against Venusaur when you do have Incinerate, so let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening there. Magcargo loses the 1, and that's because of Frenzy Plant. If it does land right there, obviously it's going to be doing neutral damage, but you can win the 0 and the 2. So Magcargo definitely looking like a very strong Pokemon to have, especially because of Stone Edge and Overheat's just raw damage that it can do to the meta. You got to be on the lookout. Like Altaria right here, if it gets hit from a Stone Edge, it's gonna hurt, right? But Magcargo definitely going to be something spicy that you guys need to look out for. Now, sadly, when it comes to the Ultra League, Magcargo XL gets nowhere near 2,500 combat power, as we can see right here at level 50, or if we go to 51, it doesn't even hit 2,000 combat power yet. You guys can see that. So if we take a look at its matchups, it still has some decent wins. You can destroy Talonflame, but you struggle against Registeel, which is very interesting, as you are a fire type. You have Incinerate and Overheat, but you can't really kill the Registeel because these Flash Cannons and Focus Blast are going to hurt. Focus Blast 87%, Flash Cannon 48%. Overheat would only do 50% of Registeel's health anyways, so that is a hard loss right there, which is unfortunate. But even though it is not even 2,000 combat power, I can still pick up a couple things, but that's if the fast move of Incinerate does incredibly well. So like stuff like Articuno and Ferrothorn, obviously, and Abomasnow. So very interesting to see right there, but that is going to be Magcargo, something spicy that you guys could run in the Great League. I'd opt to keep it away from Ultra League, as there's better fire options like Talonflame or Typhlosion instead of Magcargo there. Alright, now it's time for the spicy Pokemon Octillery getting Lock-On, which is going to be very interesting, as the moveset it already had was very nice. So it had Water Gun and Mudshot was its 2 fast moves you could originally have. And when it comes to its charge moves, you could have Octazooka, Acid Spray, Gunk Shot, Aurora Beam, and Water Pulse. Typically the moveset you ran was Octazooka and Gunk Shot, but I could see Acid Spray or Aurora Beam being run in that place. Acid Spray could be incredible, especially with Lock-On for shield baiting opportunity. That is absolutely devastating, but Gunk Shot, on the other hand, can do massive damage to Pokemon like Azumarill or Venusaur, which might swap into it. So just something to note. But if we take a look under the hood, we got Water Gun Octazooka. We have a Octillery, we have a Water Gun Octillery, a Mud Shot Octillery, and now the Lock-On Octillery with Octazooka and Gunk Shot across the board. Again, if you go with Acid Spray, you guys know it's going to be about if you can get those shield baits. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. It's going to be in the Great League here, but not too many wins right there because it is so spicy. But again, you have to consider that this is a surprise Pokemon. If you lead with something like a Venusaur and you safe swap into an Octillery, the opponent might not know, and they have an Azumarill in the back. They want to keep that Azumarill away from Venusaur, right? So they might bring it into Octillery, and that's where you land the Gunk Shot, which is going to be absolutely devastating. Now, it's kind of surprising you don't beat Galarian Stunfisk, especially with Lock-On right here, because of the energy gain, but Octazooka is only doing 38%, while the Rock Sides right here and Earthquake, if it lands, obviously is going to do a lot, and Galarian Stunfisk can win all three. Yeah, you guys can see, can win all of those matches right there, which is definitely going to be tough considering it is a water Pokemon and it's supposed to counter those ground-type Pokemon, right? So not too many wins here, but definitely do not sleep on it. This thing could be a nightmare to deal with if you do not have a good counter or you're behind on shields. Now, I'm going to be very curious if we put in another Octillery here and we go with Lock-On and then we give it Acid Spray. Let's see how this changes up the matchups, because Acid Spray might be the play here. No, actually, there's no wins. There's no wins at all. So definitely very tough if you go with Acid Spray, because you're not going to do anything. Now, you could get a shield with Acid Spray on Galarian Stunfisk and then land Octazookas, right? That could be the play. But Octillery, definitely an extremely spicy Pokemon, not very consistent, and it's going to rely on getting shields from your opponent right there, or just flipping matchups that people do not know about. But yeah, Octillery, getting Lock-On, very spicy. We also have 4 Great League Cups when it comes to the season. There's also no Little Cups this season, so no 500 combat power and under. But starting on November 29th, we're going to have Great League and Great League Remix. And then on December 13th, we're going to have the Ultra League Remix, and the Holiday Cup, which we'll talk about more in a second. We have the Master League Classic, which is 3 times Stardust from win rewards. And then we'll have Great League and Sinnoh Cup, then the Ultra League and the Ultra League Premier Cup Classic, then the Master League and the Master League Premier Cup Classic with the Love Cup and 3 times Stardust win rewards, and then wrapping it all up at the end with Great Ultra Master League and the Johto Cup. So that is what the event schedule is looking like for Season 10. These are the updates, but now let's dive into PvPoke and actually have a look at what this actually means. First up is going to be the Holiday Cup. It is going to be normal, ice, electric, flying, ghost, and grass type Pokemon. I've went ahead and plugged this here into custom rankings, and you guys can start to see how the meta will kind of shape out. We have a lot of ice, rock, steel Pokemon, that being like Alolan Graveler, Abomasnow, Alolan Sandslash, Magnezone, Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Sandshrew, right? Snowy Castform. And then to counteract that, we got stuff like Obstagoon and Vigoroth, Talonflame, Zangoose right here. So you guys are kind of see how the meta is going to be shaping up. It's going to be a lot of Ice-type Pokemon because they are incredibly strong. So something like Abomasnow, but then you're also going to need definitely the counters to those counter users, right? Being Obstagoon and Vigoroth. So we might see stuff like Wigglytuff come into play here, or something like Altaria. Chansey, get out of here. Or maybe even something like Roserade, right, with Poison Jab and Weather Ball. It's extremely spammy and can do a lot of damage, especially against those Ice-type Pokemon as well. So this is kind of how the Holiday Cup is forming, right? It's a cold weather, snowy kind of thing. So this is why you got all the cold steel Pokemon basically going on right here. Talonflame is going to have fun. I think it's got to watch out for a Alolan Graveler though. But honestly, Talonflame can hurt this meta very quickly. But yeah, that is going to be a rough look at the Holiday Cup. Again, these rankings will change when PvPoke does the official rankings. This is just my rough estimate by putting in the typings on the custom rankings. So let's go ahead and talk about the next cup. All right, so next up we have the Sinnoh Cup. Now the Sinnoh Cup is going to be Pokedex number 387 to Pokedex number 493. Which is going to be Gen 4 here. So the Sinnoh Cup, again, rough estimation here from custom rankings. We are seeing stuff like Drapion, Magnezone, Abomasnow, Bastiodon, Lucario, Empoleon, Munchlax, Cresselia, Pachirisu, Skuntank, Frostlass. So a lot of really cool stuff that have been fringe meta across the board. I know Bastiodon and Abomasnow have been used a lot, but we don't see too many Lucarios here, or we don't see Toxicroak's got to be in here. Toxicroak, I think, is going to do very well in this cup, if I'm being honest. It has the moveset. I'm not sure why it's running with Dynamic Punch here. That is probably why. If it was running with Mud Bomb, I think it would do a lot better, because then you pick up stuff like Drapion, you still pick up Bastiodon, you pick up stuff like Lucario there, and Empoleon. So I think this is why custom rankings isn't something to really focus on or take for, like, you know, as the written word, because the movesets aren't optimized. So if this was, again, it would be counter Mud Bomb and Sludge Bomb, things are then looking very, very good when it comes to Toxicroak. But this is kind of how the meta is shaping up. I'm sure a lot of you guys have all of these Pokemon, if not most of them. But yeah, looking very fun. I'm excited to try. Ooh, Gastrodons. The Mud Slap Body Slam combo is going to be absolutely deadly. That covers a lot right there, which is going to be nice. But I'm looking forward to the Sinnoh Cup here. It's a breath of fresh air when it comes to metas. We have run the Kanto Cup now, I think, like 5 times, so it's good to see other regions being run. So now we also have the Johto Cup, which is going to be coming at the end of the season. So these cups, like we showed over here, I'll just pop back. You guys can see Johto Cup is actually you guys can't see it. Johto Cup is going to be all the way at the end of the season, while the Sinnoh Cup is going to be in the middle of it. So we got Holiday Cup first, then Sinnoh, then Love, then Johto. But going back over to the custom rankings, for the Johto Cup, it's going to be Pokedex number 152 to 251, and this is kind of how the rough simulation works out. Steelix at the top, which is very cool to see. Steelix is an absolute monster, and the reason why you guys really never see it in Open Great League is because it's outclassed by Bastiodon and Galarian Stunfisk. Those two have taken over the meta when they came into Go Battle League, but before Bastiodon and Galarian Stunfisk were really out or popular, Steelix was the absolute monster tank. Same with Probopass. It was very nice. But Steelix here, coming in absolutely clutch. And we also got Azumarill, Ampharos, Quagsire, XL Chinchou, which is very interesting to see. The XL variant of literally Chinchou is ranking better in this rough simulation than its evolved form of Lantern. Now, Lantern is a very nice core breaker for the Steelix Azumarill, right? So you have the ability to absolutely hard wall the Azumarill, and you can do super effective damage with Hydro Pump to Steelix, or you can run it with Water Gun as well. Let's go ahead and roll down. You guys can see Spark, Water Gun is going to be the moves. A lot of Lanterns, if you don't know, do not put Charge Beam on there. Please make sure it's Spark if you guys are running Lantern, because you're going to have a really bad time if you have Charge Beam. Just something to note. Spark or Water Gun, and then Thunderbolt and Hydro Pump. You don't really need Thunder. You need Thunderbolt right there. But as you guys can see, this is kind of how the meta is shaping up. We have a lot of Waters. We have Steels, Electric, and Grass is basically the rotation right here. Some really cool stuff. There's also going to be Quillfish, Hitmontop, Politoed here. I think I saw Quagsire. Yeah, Quagsire. Absolute monster. This thing also has Sludge Bomb, but it is the Mudboy that has been outclassed by Swamperts basically in Whiscash, but it's still incredibly strong. Mudshot, Stone Edge, Earthquake, Sludge Bomb. You guys can already see the coverage that this thing can have on this meta, especially that Sludge Bomb for Azumarills and the Earthquake for the Lanterns and the Steelix, etc. So very cool meta that we are going to see. Yes, it will have Azumarill, but there are so many Azumarill counters, right? You got all the grass type Pokemon like Meganium, you got all the electric type Pokemon, so do not worry. And you got stuff like Quillfish, right, which could have the Sludge Wave as well. So do not worry about Azumarills. It is going to be hard countered, but there's a lot of cool stuff here. And again, these rankings are not final. This is just a custom ranking. You guys can do this yourselves if you want to take a look. You can just sort by like the typing, which we did for the Holiday Cup, or you can sort by the Pokedex number, which we've done now for Sinnoh and Johto. Now, when it comes to the Love Cup, we don't know the official rankings yet. Obviously, it's not on PvPoke as of recording this, but we will get some soon. I cannot sort by color, basically, which is totally fine, but Niantic has stated that it's going to be red and pink Pokemon, and it's probably based on Bulbapedia's color index. So some Pokemon you may think are orange, like something like Charizard, is actually classified as a red Pokemon, so you will be seeing that. But we had the Love Cup last year, I believe. Last year, the year before. It's kind of, we've been in Go Battle League for so long. I want to say it was last year, or this year, earlier this year. But it's a pretty fun meta, kind of spicy. Obviously, got to watch out for Charmers, but there are counters to Charmers as well in there. But overall, I think it was pretty fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And we'll talk more about the Love Cup once we actually get the rankings and stuff for that. So holy cow, that was a lot of information. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I just wanted to try to inform you guys on everything that is happening when it comes to Season 10, the big things that we got. Right, Go Battle League, I'll move this over, Go Battle League, catches now being better, and then we also got these move updates and Noctowl being, I think, the big one there. Same with Magcargo, that's a sleeper, and Donphan, and then we have amazing cups as well. So we have 4 Great League Cups that are going to be running during this season: Holiday, Sinnoh, Love Cup, and Johto. So let me know which feature from Season 10 has been your guys' favorite. Are you guys going to be investing in Noctowl, Magcargo, Donphan? Which cup is your guys' favorite? Me personally, if I had to go across the board, I would say the Johto Cup is my favorite one that I'm most looking forward to, and then Noctowl update. Those are my 2 right there, which I'm very thankful for Season 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.